St. Louis, the gateway to the West, is now the gateway to the best.
Swing and get up, baby! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Home
The game is over. The series is over. The wait is over.
What's happening, nerds? I don't know if y'all saw the home run derby tonight, or if you're watching this, it'll be last night. But anyway, that was absolutely phenomenal. Jordan Walker becomes the first Cardinal to ever win the home run derby, which is mind-boggling, right? Because they had a guy in Albert Pujols who hit 700 home runs in his career. They had a guy, Mark McGwire, who was on steroids. But, man, that was awesome. The way he came back and walked it off, oh, man. So, real quick, I'm just going to show his Topps rookie card. But why am I bringing this up? Because it kind of gave me some thoughts about autograph collecting, how I collect autographs. You know, there's people that collect autographs for all sorts of different ways, for all sorts of different reasons. But I just want to talk about me, you know, and how I do it. And maybe you feel similarly, or maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, so Jordan Walker, spring training 2022. He was a hot shit prospect. Number 3 rated prospect in all of baseball. And so I went to the workouts. It was right when the lockout ended. And I was wanting to meet Yadier Molina because it was going to be his last season. And so I bought a baseball, made the 4.5-hour drive from Clearwater to Jupiter. And that was the hope, that was the intention. But he did not report with the full squad. It's like, oh, man. You know, he had some family obligations or whatever and came a handful of days later. But, so anyway, I was there. Spring training's awesome. Like, if you go there after the full squad reports and you go there for like the drills, the workouts, the batting practice and all that stuff, that's the ticket right there because, well, it's free. But before the game schedule starts, the games are cool and everything. I've done those. But before the game schedule starts, if you ever go to spring training, that's the time to do it. And I highly, highly recommend it. I bet you my Florida guys, they can attest to that. So anyway, I met Jordan Walker. And well, I was like, well, I got this baseball. He's a hot shit prospect. You never know. You know, the next Pujols or something. And one of the things I like to do is that I prefer pictures over autographs. And so I put my picture with Jordan with my baseball. Yeah, and I met other players there. You know, Andrew Kisner, Jack Flaherty, Tommy Edman. But I just got pictures with them. Because, again, that's what I prefer. I also met Adam Wainwright. And he signed this winter warm-up pass, which has its own memories attached to it. And now it has more memories attached to it because of the autograph. That was really cool. Finishing out that spring training, like I said, workouts is when to go. Normally this is hanging up over there. But you see here, Nolan Arenado signed my scorecard. And that's why I made it onto the front page of the Post-Dispatch. See, this is a picture I took of him signing my scorecard. But really cool piece there, even though he's not a Cardinal anymore. But, man, I loved watching him play. So, yeah, that was the kind of spring training. And then the following year, that's when I re-enlisted at the Yankees-Cardinals game. You know, I showed this before, but, you know, the coin that Aaron Boone gave me. And, you know, I met the hometown hero, Patrick Maroon. And it was kind of funny because all I had was this baseball, and he signed my baseball. Super awesome, you know. But, you know, Patrick Maroon, though, he's got tons of autographs on the eBay. And I could just go buy those, just like I bought this card. And there's never really been a want to do that. But, you know, this in-person autograph, there's a memory attached to it. It's a souvenir of that memory, you know? And it's just, I don't know, that's just what I prefer. Again, you can go on eBay and buy autographs of people all the time, and that just does not work for me necessarily, you know what I mean? You know, Willie McGee's one of my guys. And so here's another in-person autograph. Now, what I will say is, and this kind of continues on with Willie, and then I'll get to more, is so I have these autographs right here. And that's for a few different reasons. So this card right here was what I needed to finish a collection, his 1982, 1983 rookie year cards and all that good stuff. And I had been looking for this card for a good while, and one finally pops up, and wouldn't you know, it's autographed. And so I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and get it. It will help finish out that collection. But what helps make the autograph fit more is the fact that, well, I've already met him. So, all right. And then this right here is just an iconic moment. I was at a card shop and they had this. I was like, this is super cool for $20. And going back to my previous statement, I've already met him. So, all right, for me, it kind of fits. Ozzie Smith is my guy. And so I've shared this before, but, this card right here, I had autographed in person. And the 1985 card, it's the year I was born, all that good stuff. Again, going back to preferring pictures over card or autographs, is you got this picture right here, but the page in the binder in which it was opened to was 1985, again, the year I was born. And so this card was in this picture, which is kind of neat. But then I also have this autograph, and it's an autographed rookie card. And I have a couple other copies of his card, to include an ungraded one. And you figure when I met him and had this card signed, I could have had that card signed. But I don't want that altered in any way. And that's been talked about quite a bit is, back in the day, you didn't want your card signed because it would degrade or whatever the card, whatever the case may be about the mindset at the time. But of course, that thinking has evolved over time to where people desire autograph cards. And so I went after this one because I wanted my rookie card to be unaltered. And there's tons of these out there. So I got this one. But again, I've met Ozzie. I met him for the first time back in 92. And then here from a couple of videos ago where I met him at the Turn 2, here's another baseball that's signed by Ozzie. But there's a memory attached to it. And so I just love it. You know what I mean? It's a souvenir of an event, of a time I got to meet him. You know what I mean? I think Ozzie's a good point in time right now to kind of talk about pack pulled autos. And honestly, those just don't do anything for me. But I know there's tons of guys that seek them out. I mean, tons of them. They're highly, highly desirable. And I totally understand that. I really, really do. But you figure like Ozzie, I mean, how many pack pulled autos does he have any given year? I mean, just tons of them. Back when I met him at the Rawlings Experience, and he was super cool, and I had my baseball cards, and the thing he said to me was, Topps, they send me cards all the time. And I was just like, yeah, I bet they do. Go on eBay, and I could see it, But I do have an Ozzie Smith pack pulled auto, and that's this one because it's awesome. I mean, it commemorates his induction into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame and all that good stuff. The design, everything about it is just amazing. But one of the things I kind of just go back to is I've met Ozzie Smith before. So I don't know. It's just a continuation of those memories. Is kind of how I look at it. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody, but whatever, right? Another couple in-person autographs that I want to show before I get into a couple other points is Al MacInnis and Isaac Bruce. I love these cards. Favorite all-time football player, favorite all-time hockey player, and these are not only autographs I have of Isaac, but of Al MacInnis it is. And so these are just really cool cards. Again, these guys have autographed cards all over eBay. Other items, jerseys, pucks, footballs, what have you. But these are the special ones. Absolutely special ones to me. And I've not ever really targeted other autographs of them. What I will say is this pennant right up here, I'm not going to take it off the wall. Isaac Bruce's autograph is on there, along with Jerome Bettis, Kevin Carter, and the entire 1995 St. Louis Rams team. So that's just a super piece of memorabilia for me, but I got it in person. But I will say is, here's a couple other items and whatnot. In my last video, I talked about, cheap cards, and it's this Red Shandy's card, and I wanted it unautographed because, well, I've never met Red before, kind of. Back in 2003, the Cardinals at that time anyway did this Fujifilm photo days, what it was, and so all the players would come around the field. We were on the warning track, and the intention was, you get your picture, or you would get to take a picture of the players, not a picture with the players. Anyway, one of the guys that came around though was Red Shandy's, so I've been near him, but I've never really met him. You know what I mean? So having an autograph on this it doesn't do anything for me. That doesn't mean I don't have a Red Shandy's autograph in my collection, because I have this. Now, what I did was I wanted this print for my collection. But if you go on eBay and everything, just the print, it was just like, that's cool. I want one, but for that much? And then this was at my LCS for cheaper than what it was to get an unautographed print off of eBay. And so I was just like, you know what? Support the shop, fill my collection, let's go. You know what I mean? It just happens to be autographed. That's all. And that's important to say because, again, Red, he passed away back in what, 18? Yeah, 2018. Because I remember it was right when I came home on leave from Bahrain. But he was alive for so many years during my lifetime. Same thing with Stan Musial. I don't target Stan Musial autographs. But there's other players, such as Ken Boyer. He passed away in 82. Well, I wasn't born until 85. And so having an item like this, well, now that's a little bit different. I never had the chance to meet him. And now at the same time, in order to get this card, it's going to be an autographed card. So it's kind of two birds with one stone kind of thing. I'm a huge Ken Boyer collector, and I really, really wanted this card because it's from his rookie season. And, well, you know what? It's autographed. But I'm not. But at the same time, I don't target autographs of, like, Jim Bottomley, Rogers Hornsby, Jesse Haynes, all those guys. So I don't know. I don't have a Ted Simmons autograph, and so that'll kind of lead to another thing is. I'm super looking forward to the Westport Plaza card show this coming October. And usually with card shows, it's like, oh, what cards are you targeting, And I'm kind of actively thinking about that. But I'm anxiously awaiting who the signers are going to be. I'm really, really hoping that Yadier Molina is one of them because, well, he was last year. But now at the same time, I'm really hoping that Ted Simmons is one. Because I've never met Ted Simmons. I came close once. But unfortunately, at that Rawlings event, I had to leave before I got a chance to meet Ted Simmons. So there's that, you know what I mean? But he's, a part of why I collect him is because of how active he is within the Cardinals alumni around town kind of thing. So I'm really hoping Ted Simmons is going to be there. And yeah, I've met Ozzie Smith a handful of times. But I'm hoping he's there. Maybe I can get him to sign this card. That'd be cool. You know what I mean? So I'm more looking forward to who the signers are going to be. But I can go on eBay and get a Yadier Molina autograph. I've had 2 Yadier Molina autographs. But the fact that I had never met him, those cards meant nothing to me. And I traded them for other cards that I did want. Not autographed. You know what I mean? I could go on eBay right now and get a Ted Simmons autograph. There's tons of them. But it would mean nothing to me. You know what I mean? Now, at the same time, if I got to meet Ted Simmons, if I got to meet Yadier Molina, then it would change the narrative in my head as far as cards and items that I see on eBay. You know what I mean? It's weird in how I think about it. But it is what it is. That's how I collect autographs within my collection. There's got to be an attachment to it. There's got to be memories attached to it. Otherwise, they just exist. And even if I had them in this room right now, they would just exist. And that's it. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm not. Maybe y'all think the same. Or some of you anyway. I know not everybody does because, well, that'd be weird. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I just thought I would do this video. Just kind of just getting my thoughts out there regarding these kinds of things that are very, very prevalent within the hobby. Very desirable and sought after within the hobby. So, anyway, this is how I'm nerding out, and thanks for nerding out with me.